Alright, well, we just got gas. So, we're only a quarter mile from the layout, so be there in a second. You ready to go to the layout? Callie, you ready to go to the layout? You know what? I'm not even going to argue with you this time. If you want to stand there, go ahead. Just, I'm not going fast. But you really shouldn't be doing that. That's not safe. Every time I go to the layout, she's got to come along. Don't you? So anyway, as you can see, I'm flying the colors today. Lone Star High Railers. And here we are. I wish they'd trim all these bushes in the center median. Makes it hard to see to make a left. Okay, and here we are. See you inside. Here we are facing the west end of the layout, and I'll give you a quick pointer to where we're going to go. So, centered is the roundhouse and the turntable. In the far end is the grain silos and the actual brake wheel from the original baggage car that we're in, up on the right hand corner of the car. The club detailed 1950s layout, so naturally we have modern windmills in the background. Here's the watering towers, and coal facilities, and stuff like that. This is supposed to represent downtown Grapevine. Trolley running through the center. Callie, you make a better doorstop than a dog right now. And you can see they've painted up all the walls. There's the station and the trolley station. There's the control tower, switch tower, whatever you want to call it. And there's a windmill. That is actually on the grounds of the Grapevine Vintage Railroad. It was modeled after that, so it looks just like that. They should have a sign that says, "You are here," because there's the baggage car and the color of the engine outside. If you've seen on a previous video, it looks just like that. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there we have Mark fiddling with his new car from the Santa Fe Superset. He's had more trouble with that video card, Lionel. If you're paying attention, Lionel. Okay, there's the engine we're going to be running. Callie, your doorstop is doing very well. So there's the little Mobius camera. The loading area. There's the bridge. Bridges going over the creek. Control. Another water tower. Entrance to the tunnel. The other tunnel. What you couldn't see when we were running these engines around is the light changing from green to red, and then after 20 seconds it'll eventually go orange, but we're not going to wait. We'll come back when it changes. So here's the mountain. There, it's changed orange. There's the mountain, and the door to the back storage and work area. Fire extinguisher over there, and the other double set of doors. And that is the layout.
Pennsylvania 8510 here.
Starter up and stand by.
Copy. Starting up the engine. Out.
Pennsylvania 8510, proceed at slow speed. Over.
Understood. Slow speed. 8510 out.
Here we are, we're passing the yard area. There's Mark on the right. Hi, Mark. Okay. On the left, that's a model of the Grapevine Vintage Railroad. They got as close as they could to the actual colors, and they did a good job on the engine. There's the windmill. That's over by the depot. Here's the station. There's a trolley system. Right now we're running on the outer track. There's the green light. Unfortunately, we just passed it. It'll go red, and then about 25 seconds later, it will switch to another 20 seconds. So here we are coming to the back of the car. There's the old brake handle right in front of us. There's the mill that we pointed out earlier. There's coal dump facility. And here is our ultra modern windows. 1950s Grapevine.
Taxi 8510, clear into the station. Over.
Now we're on the back side of the layout.
Clear into the station. 8510 out. Dispatcher, Penty 8510 here.
There are several pop-ups
Are we clear? Over.
that we just passed. Next time around, try to point them out, or their location. We have 3 pop-ups.
Copy. 8510 out.
One by the turntable area, and 2 on the other side of the roundhouse. And they allow you access to the layout in the event there's a derailment or a problem like that. Here's the back side of the water tower with the windmill on top. Okay, now we're entering the tunnel area. Different view when you have a camera car going through and you can see all the raw wood. And a little shelf that was slapped up there to hold some equipment. That door right there has to be open so the air conditioning can flow through there, otherwise you get very poor air circulation. And here we come around again. Oop, got a switch. Forgot to do that last minute. Okay, so now we are switching over to the number 2 track, or the middle track. Again, comes off the water tower. Okay, here we can see the back side of all the buildings in the town. As you can see, some of them are really close to the layout. Every now and then, if one gets pushed a little bit too far, like possibly this one, you might tag it. you look to the right, you see that outline? That is one of the pop-ups. And there's our 1950s windmills. Passing along siding for the number 2 track. Turntable off to our right. These are all the entrance areas and the siding area. There's the trolley. That actually runs just bang, bang, bang. Kind of drives you nuts after a while. Okay, so here is what I call the mood lighting. So switch off the main lights and we can run it up the high, which it just was. And now we're running it down. The green light on the lower right that we just passed, that says power has been applied to the track. It's good. So that way you know when your track has power. See the siding has power. And there's one on the right. Track number 1 still has power, so that way you know if voltage is getting through to the track. There's our door to the storage room where the air conditioner is again. And there's our shelf with the trees. This is underneath the mountain area. Different view from the other, coming the other way. Access hole right there to the right. The aluminum foil you saw on the bottom of the mountain area, that is to prevent the signal bleed through where the, how do I describe it? Line-L has a problem where if, especially over top of each other, where you have to ground the signal, otherwise it can interfere with itself and have all kinds of problems with the TNCC legacy signal. So that's what one of our former members did. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. Rick, he was a great guy. He did most of that. And you'll also notice that when you go into underneath this part of the layout on the next run. Naturally, we get a phone call. Let's see if it's anybody important. Nothing. Nobody important. Okay, here we are with the mood lighting again. And this looks like darkness. And it's coming up, so this would be more like dusk. There's the front of the building in the town again. I know what I forgot to do. I should have turned on the accessories lighting. That's my fault. If we ever do another video, I'll make sure the accessory lighting is on. But all those buildings are lit up. Okay, now we're crossing over to the middle track. And just to the right of us is the siding area. And those are pass-through sidings. Here's a control tower, and here is a water tower. And there's a crossover, you can see, and underneath the mountain. Here's the view of the backside. It's kind of hard to see from the mountain, so this gives you a good view of that. Okay, now we're rising up. There's Mark and I just sitting there waiting for the video to complete.
Thank you much. Clear into the station. 8510
See
out.
the cut they had to build so the rails could go through. Bridge. Okay, now we're heading down. More views of the backside. You can see they've got flat panels right up against the left side to represent buildings that are attached, that are glued right to the wall. To give it a little bit more depth and the appearance of depth. Alright, here we're going to go underneath the layout, and this makes it really weird. Turn this way, turn that way, and if you pay close attention, you'll be able to see that reflective aluminum material. There it is, right there. And if you're a big boy, you might have trouble underneath here. I don't think it would make. I think it would slam into some of these barriers. We normally don't run anything that big underneath it because you hit right there and hit right there. Especially if your nose is way out. Alright. Here we're coming up. So this is the end of our tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Stop the narration now.
Going off duty. 8510 out.